Hi dear, and welcome back to Quick Fix English. I'm really happy you're here, truly. You could have kept scrolling. You could have told yourself, maybe later, but you pressed play. You showed up. And that already makes today a little brighter. This video, this space, it's not about being perfect. It's not about knowing every word or getting every sentence right. It's about showing up, starting where you are, even if where you are feels messy, late, or not enough. So, let me ask you something gentle. Have you been waiting for the right moment to improve your English? You know what I mean. I'll practice when I have more time. I'll speak when I feel more confident. I'll start when I'm less tired, less busy, less behind. But here's a soft truth. The perfect time doesn't exist, and you don't need it, because every moment you wait is a moment you could have been growing. Let me tell you a story about John. John is from South Korea. He always wanted to work in a company where English was used daily, but for 5 years, he told himself, not yet, I need to prepare more. He collected notebooks, watched grammar videos, took notes, but he never actually spoke. Why? Because deep down, he believed he needed to be ready, fluent, clear, impressive. One day, his younger cousin asked him something simple. If you wait 5 more years, will you finally feel ready? And John didn't have an answer. So that night, instead of watching another video, he joined a small online group. And he spoke. His grammar wasn't perfect. His accent was strong. He paused a lot, but he spoke. And do you know what happened? Nobody laughed. Nobody judged. They listened. They helped. They smiled. That night changed everything. Because for the first time, John realized speaking is not something you do after you're ready. It's how you get ready. And you can do that too. Right now, wherever you are, even if you're tired, even if you feel behind, even if your words don't come out smoothly, start small. One sentence, one conversation, one kind word to yourself. That's all it takes. In the next part, we'll talk about the myths we believe, why we think we need to wait, and how to gently challenge those beliefs. But for now, I just want to say thank you for starting here. Thank you for not waiting. You're not too late. You're right on time. So, why do we wait? Why do we keep telling ourselves, not now, even when we want it to start? It's not because we're lazy. It's not because we don't care. It's because of fear. Subtle, quiet fear. Fear of failing. Fear of looking foolish. Fear of finding out that we're not good enough yet. And sometimes we call that fear something else. We call it preparation. We call it just being realistic. But underneath those words is doubt. I once spoke with a woman named Anya. She's from Poland. She told me, I have a dream to travel and make friends around the world, but I can't start until I'm fluent. I asked her, what does fluent mean to you? She paused. I guess when I stopped making mistakes. And there it was. The invisible finish line that never comes, because even native speakers make mistakes. Even teachers forget words. Even I, in my own videos, sometimes pause and restart. So I said, if fluency means no more mistakes, then none of us are fluent. She laughed, and I think that laugh changed something. The truth is, most of us are waiting for a version of ourselves that doesn't exist. A version that's always confident, always perfect, always ready. But that version isn't real. You are. And where you are today, it's enough to begin. Let's shift the question. Instead of asking, am I ready? Ask this, am I willing? Willing to grow. Willing to be seen. Willing to try, even when it's messy. Because the people who grow the most are not the most talented. They're the most willing. They show up when they're scared. They speak when they're unsure. They take one tiny step, then another, and slowly, that willingness becomes strength. So let me gently ask you, are you willing not to be perfect, not to be fluent, but to start today with exactly who you are? You don't need to do it all. You just need to take one kind step forward. In the next part, we'll talk about those small steps, what they can look like, how to create them, and why they matter more than any perfect plan. But before we get there, just hold on to this: waiting doesn't protect you, it only delays your light. And the world needs your light just as it is. Let's talk about small steps, because starting doesn't always mean something big. You don't need a 90-day study plan. You don't need perfect notebooks or expensive courses. You just need to move. And the smallest movement counts. Think of a snowball at the top of a hill. At first, it's tiny, almost nothing. But once it starts rolling, it grows. It gains speed. It becomes powerful. That's what your small step can do. Let me tell you about Jamal. He's from Morocco. He had one goal: speak English with confidence, but he didn't know where to start. So he gave himself just 5 minutes a day. That's it. For 5 minutes, he talked to himself in English, in the mirror, in the kitchen, on his walk to work. Sometimes he just described what he saw. This is my coffee. I am walking to the station. The sky is blue, simple, easy, honest. After 1 week, he noticed something. He stopped hesitating. His words came faster, his fear smaller. He didn't wait for the perfect plan. He just started with what he had, where he was, and that choice changed everything. So here's something you can do today. Pick one small step, just one. Maybe you write one sentence in English. Maybe you record yourself speaking. Maybe you greet someone in English, even just good morning. And when you do it, celebrate, not because it was perfect, but because you took action. Your brain learns from movement, not from pressure, not from guilt, from doing. And the more you move, the easier it becomes to keep going. That's how habits are built. One kind step at a time. No pressure, no shame, just progress. So don't ask yourself, did I do enough today? Ask this, did I take one step today? If the answer is yes, then you're doing beautifully. In the next part, we'll explore how to handle the hard days, the days when motivation disappears, when doubt gets loud, and when you feel like giving up. But until then, hold this close. The moment you begin, even in a whisper, you're already further than you were yesterday. Some days are hard. Let's be honest about that. You wake up tired. You forget why you even started, the voice in your head says. Why bother? You'll never be good at this. That voice can be loud, especially on the days when you need kindness the most. But here's the truth. Even on those days, you're still growing. Progress doesn't disappear just because you feel low. In fact, showing up on a hard day might be the strongest thing you ever do. Let me tell you about Carla. She's from Spain. She had a streak 47 days of practicing English. Then, one morning, she overslept, missed her study time. She felt crushed, guilty, like she had ruined everything. She told me, I broke it, I failed. But she didn't fail, she paused. And when she showed up the next day, that wasn't starting over, that was continuing. Because growth is not about perfect lines. It's about staying close even when you wobble. So if you're in a hard season right now, if you're tired, discouraged, or doubting yourself, let this be a gentle reminder. You are still allowed to move forward. You are still worthy of trying again. And you are still on the path even if today's step is small. Try this. When motivation disappears, lean on routine. And when routine fails, lean on kindness. Maybe today you don't do the full lesson. Maybe today you just say one sentence to yourself, I'm still learning. And that matters. That one sentence, that's practice, that's strength, that's you choosing not to quit. Not every day needs to be loud. Some days, the quiet effort is the bravest of all. In the next part, we'll explore how to believe in your future self, the version of you that's already fluent, already speaking freely, already smiling while doing it. But for now, I just want you to know this. Hard days don't erase your progress. They prove it. You're still here. And that's everything. Let's take a moment to look forward. Can you imagine your future self, not a perfect version, not someone who never makes mistakes, but the version of you who speaks English with ease, who starts conversations, who smiles while ordering food in a new country, who listens, laughs, and feels free? That version of you is real, and every small step you take today brings you closer. Here's something powerful to remember. You don't become confident and then speak. You speak, and little by little, confidence grows. Confidence is not something you wait for. It's something you build word by word, mistake by mistake, moment by moment. I once worked with a man named Felipe. He was terrified of video calls in English. Every Monday, he'd skip team meetings or mute his mic the entire time. One day, he imagined his future self, Felipe, 6 months from now, leading a project in English, calm, clear, present. He wrote that version of himself a letter. It said, "Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for believing I could grow. I'm following your steps." Every time he felt afraid, he read that letter, and slowly, he began turning on his mic, then his camera, then speaking up, and 6 months later, he led a meeting, in English, with confidence. Not because fear disappeared, but because courage became stronger. That future version of you, they're not waiting at the finish line. They're walking beside you. They're in your next sentence, your next brave hello, your next honest mistake. You are becoming them right now. So let's bring that future closer. Speak like you're already them. Act like you're already growing, because you are. In the next part, we'll talk about how to protect that growth by choosing who you listen to, where you practice, and how to create an environment that lifts you up. But before we move on, try this. Write a short note to your future self. Just a few words. Something like, "I'm trying, and I believe in who we're becoming." Because you're not just learning English, you're building someone strong, brave, and beautiful. That someone is you. You're growing. And now, it's time to protect that growth. Because learning English, like any new skill, isn't just about the words. It's about the environment you place yourself in, the voices you listen to, the energy you allow into your space. Have you ever noticed how one kind word can lift your whole day, or how one rude comment can make you want to disappear? Words are powerful. That's why you must choose carefully who gets to speak into your journey. Let me tell you about Noor. She's from Jordan. She joined a big online English group with thousands of learners. At first, it was exciting. So many voices, so much energy. But soon, she began comparing herself. She saw people posting perfect sentences, perfect accents, perfect smiles, and suddenly, her own progress didn't feel good enough. She told me, "I thought this would motivate me, but it just makes me feel small." So I asked her, "Do you feel safe there?" She said no, so she left. Instead, she found a smaller group, 3 women who met twice a week, no pressure, no performance, just practice and laughter and honest mistakes. That new space, it changed everything. She began smiling again when she spoke. She stopped apologizing for her accent. She stopped hiding. Because she was no longer surviving comparison, she was growing in kindness, and you deserve that too. You don't need to learn in the loudest room. You need to learn in the kindest one. Here are some gentle things to remember. You don't need to follow every English page on the internet. You don't need to watch videos that make you feel less than. You do need rest. You do need laughter. You do need people who celebrate your small wins. So choose wisely, choose softly, and if you ever feel overwhelmed, step back. That is not quitting, that is caring. Your English doesn't grow from pressure. It grows from joy, from safety, from spaces that say, "You belong here." In the next and final part, we'll gather all of this, your courage, your tiny steps, your imperfect voice, and we'll celebrate the most important truth of all. You didn't wait, you began, and that is everything. You didn't wait, you began with what you had, from where you were, and that is something to celebrate. Let's take this final moment to breathe, to feel proud, to remember what this journey is really about. It was never about speaking perfect English. It was never about impressing anyone. It was about courage, about showing up on the days you didn't feel ready, about whispering one sentence when silence felt safer, about saying, "I'll try," even when doubt said, "Don't bother." And now, look at you. You've grown. Not in giant leaps, but in quiet, honest steps. Maybe you spoke to yourself in the mirror. Maybe you answered one question in class. Maybe you just believed for the first time that your voice matters. That's what progress looks like. Not shiny, not loud, but real. I want you to hear this from me, from your friend here at Quick Fix English. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you're meant to be. There's no finish line. There's only this moment, and the next one you choose with love. So keep choosing, keep speaking, even when your voice shakes. Keep practicing, even when it feels slow. Keep believing, even when doubt returns. Because your story isn't small, your effort isn't invisible, and your voice, your beautifully imperfect voice is needed. Let it be heard, not someday, not when it's perfect, but now. You've done something powerful. You've stopped waiting. You've started. And wherever this journey takes you next, just know you are not alone. I'm here. This space is here, and so many others are walking beside you. Thank you for your time, your heart, your presence. Now go speak, go live, and don't forget you are always enough to begin.